All right, guys. So I want to talk about strength training for cross country, and this kind of applies to endurance athletes in general. But I'm just going to go to cross country. This is at Upper Canada College. Our cross country guys, and my kids are high school kids. Most of our cross country group are juniors, so they're in grade 8, 9, 10. I have a couple of senior grade 11, grade 12, but for the most part, we got nines and tens. These guys are doing in the range of 30 to 50 kilometers a week. That's practice volume, and then on top of that, they might have one or two events a week. And so far, right now, our coach Mark McGuire, he gave me uh, full reign to we train through the season until these guys are up into the finals and the championships, and we really focus on recovery. But if there's a race on Wednesday, we're still lifting on Tuesday, and we're still lifting pretty hard for endurance athletes. So I want to talk about the cyclical nature of this sport, and if you're a runner, like what you can apply in your own training. If you're strength conditioning coach and working with athletes, successes we've had with our cross country group. It's my second year working with cross country, and they're athlete. My cross country guys get out. They're distance runners, but they get at it, get after it, right? Because we have soccer and volleyball here, which are both soccer is more physical, obviously, but those are both sports where you take a real pounding. And I don't get those groups here in our strength and conditioning program, but our cross country coach reached out to me, and we get those guys in here. So the first thing is plyometrics. You want to make sure that you're doing plyometrics with runners, with distance athletes. We do, what do? We do bounding and different speed drills. I love doing loaded things that we can reduce ground reaction forces with, right? So we do band resisted sprinting. What have we done? We've done band resisted bounding, hurdle work. We don't do a crazy amount of box jumps, but we do hurdle work, whether that's 2 feet or single leg. And these are athletes, these are guys that haven't, for the most part, excelled at the more traditional field or court sports, hockey, basketball, volleyball, soccer, right? Hockey's a little different. Hockey's not a ground-based sport, but those other sports, you're going to get a certain amount of plyometric exposure. Basketball, volleyball, and basketball is the actual jumping portion. Soccer might just be the sprinting, but there's a good amount of plyometric strength that you develop and coordination you develop from those sports that a lot of my cross country guys don't have. So we work that in. I work that in a way that I might not do with those if I've been working with those other sports, and ensure that we're getting plyometric drills in there. Again, I keep them short and sweet. All our plyometric drills, really, we might do higher rep stuff in the primer, but generally I'm contrasting them with some of our other lifts, some of our main strength lifts I'll talk about in a second. And we're keeping the volume short. We're doing 2 or 3 reps per set. So make sure you're doing plyometric work in there with your cross-country athletes. Then max strength, right? And for me, for athletes, I consider max strength to be in that 3 to 5 rep range. Very rarely am I pushing athletes into one and twos. Twos might be if one of my guys here, he's doing a fifth set template, and so he's doing doubles, but they're not actual like 95% doubles. They're in the range of 80 to 85% doubles. So with these guys, we're doing trap bar deadlifts. We are doing front squats. I'm doing a lot of Cal Dietz work right now, and so I've integrated some safety bar split squats in there as well. Obviously, you want that maximal strength because now you have a greater strength reserve, right? Every stride that these guys are taking out on the field or on the track is taking less out of them. They have a greater strength reserve to pull from. Again, we train through the season, so whether or not there's a race, we still load it up pretty well. And these guys are at such a novice level of training that really, no matter what you're going to do, just don't hurt them. But no matter what you're going to do, they're going to get stronger and get better. But we can get a lot stronger with some really structured maximal strength training in those real safe lifts. The trap bar is probably the top one that we load up. And then working in different planes. I want to talk about working in different planes. So cross country, as it generally is with endurance sports, it's all monostructural and it's all in the sagittal plane. And so I want to get these guys doing some work in the frontal plane. I want some rotational capacity and some work in the transverse plane. I think that movement is therapeutic. That mobility and that access to those other ranges, again, they may not have developed, they may have not participated in other sports in a way where they're developing that. And so I want them to be able to have that. I want them to be able to have that piece. So we do some partner-loaded rotational stuff. On this one, I was working with Dan Noble, who's huge on doing partner drills, and I love partner soft tissue work. I'll get to in a sec here, but we'll do rotational work with your partner. We will do hip airplanes. We will do generally when we work into our hand cleans, when our plyometric drills. Later on, once my guys have a good handle on the hand clean, they'll be in a front rack position, and we'll do side lunges. We'll do curtsy lunges. So incorporating those movements, and these athletes at least have some strength and some skill and some stability in some planes outside just the sagittal plane that they're used to, front to back, that they're used to moving in. Next thing is foot specific. Again, these are concepts that I pulled from Cal Dietz at the University of Minnesota, his triphasic training approach. The spring ankle work, that's something that's consistently in our primer. Making sure at top foot, ground contact, ball of the foot, what does he call it, velociraptor toe. We're practicing that position, heels elevated, knees bent, knees slightly bent, legs straight, and then heels down. Same thing, knees straight, knees bent, knees slightly bent. And I'm strengthening my athletes in all those different positions. And I don't know, some of you coaches out there have too much familiarity with this, but the spring ankle positions, you can then build upon those positions and be working not only with the heels elevated, but maybe creating some external and or internal rotation. I haven't integrated that a ton yet with these guys. I started with our football guys, and I will continue with our rugby guys and our basketball guys. That said, for cross-country athletes, even though they're not making the hardest cuts, there are routes where you're going and you're maybe on trail. There are times where you might slip and you might get out of position. There's times where we're doing uphill and you're doing climbs. So having strength there with those, not only in different foot positions height-wise, but with those externally rotated and internally rotated spring ankle positions. I think there's a lot of value there, and that's something I'm going to keep in the program, where we're going to keep using that. And guys, the gift that I've had with my guys, even though they're young guys here, they internalize it and they make use of it. So I've really enjoyed that. And then the last piece is our soft tissue work. So again, a lot of this is partner-based. I teach my guys to get their partner down the ground. Some of the stuff I pulled from Kelly Starrett at the Ready State. Getting your partner down the ground, stepping on them. We take our shoes off. Some of our guys' feet stink. It's whatever. These guys are all teenagers. They all stink. And stepping on top of our partner's hips, working into the hip flexors and the quads, working into the groin, working into the calves. If I need to, I'll get them on the table and we'll do some RPR depending on how well guys' bodies are firing and what they need to work on. But that soft tissue, these guys, that tissue takes a pounding. And again, Coach McGuire, he's great at managing their volume and things of that nature, but it is a sport that kind of encourages just the overuse of tissue and some kind of chronic issue coming up. So we make sure that we work on the tissue, whether that's using kettlebells. I have the Donnie Thompson roller here in our facility and a couple of our other foam rollers, our massage and lacrosse balls, where we teach guys to not only do our foot activation, we work on the fascia, but get on top of those implements and work on the tissue to a point where we can remove some of that hypertonicity and get them feeling well. We open with that, and if needs be, depending on the day, we'll close with that as well. So those are the pieces that you can use to train endurance athletes. Plyometrics, incorporating max strength, make sure you're moving in different planes, because that is also therapeutic and that's going to support the athlete's longevity. Strengthening the foot and the ankle complex, and then finally making sure that you get after that soft tissue work and assure that there's good tissue quality for the pounding that these guys are taking out of the track. That's my point on cross country, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the end of the season and building on that program. I'll see you guys later. All points.